Oh my god, there's an epidemic. HGV drivers are dropping like flies. Why is this? There's got to be a reason, right? So in the UK, it's estimated that there's over 100,000 shortfall of HGV drivers. Now, what are the reasons for this? Well, it's all Brexit's fault. Maybe. I don't really know on this one. The older generation, they've dropped out of this job because of simple things like CPC training and the unsociable hours. Now, if you're getting close to retirement and you've made your money and you don't really love the job, you're just doing it for that little bit of extra cash, what are you going to do? You're going to jack it in, do something in a shop, something a bit easier, or you're just going to drop down to part-time and maybe do a bit of agency work, jobs here and there. Now, the new generation don't really want to do this kind of work. It's becoming more of a digital age and people are finding easier ways to make money online, etc, etc. So why are you going to go out 12 to 15 hours a day and not get to spend any time with the family or friends when you can literally work from home now on your laptop? It's a bit of a no-brainer. Now, the one thing I will say as well is that the UK is not alone when it comes to HGV shortages. There are shortages of drivers in Canada, America, Australia, you name it. There's shortages pretty much everywhere. Now, there's got to be a reason for this. Is it the generation, or is it the facilities? But what do you believe causes this shortage of HGV drivers? Because it's not always been this way. It used to be quite a good, sought after, lucrative job, and now it seems to be going the opposite way, where people just are not interested anymore. Now, a common thing that I get all the time in the questions and some of my videos is, I've just passed my test and nobody wants to give me a chance. I've spent all this money getting my license and nobody, literally nobody, wants to touch me because I don't have any experience. How am I going to get experience? It's a good question, and the truth of it is I don't know. The only thing I can really say is you just got to persevere and just keep applying for as many jobs as you can. Now, what I don't get about this driver shortages is sometimes when you go onto the job websites, like the popular one, which is like, you know, agreeing, there's like 200 applicants for one job. 200 applicants for one job, but yet there's a driver shortage. Is that because it's drivers that are already at companies and applying for other jobs? Who knows? But it does seem a bit strange to me that there's a driver shortage, yet one job can get 200 applicants. I'm sure there's, you know, at least 30 to 40% of them that are maybe new drivers, or maybe even more. Who knows? But yeah, it just seems very bizarre that we've got 100,000 driver shortage, yet nobody wants to employ anyone new. Baffling. Absolutely mind blown. On average, 50,000 people every year are either retiring or leaving the industry. Now, there's got to be some problems. And if you think it's such an issue, like the government seems to be claiming that we've got a massive shortage and it's, you know, it's going to affect everything and cause chaos, then what are you going to do about it? Because it's been over a year now since I've heard this. Well, actually, I think it's almost been 2 years. I think it was 2021 where they come out with the big story about how we're have a massive shortfall of HGV drivers. Yeah, I haven't seen any action being taken other than the fact that they've skipped the license from going from having to do your class 2 first to going straight from car to class 1, which I also believe can be quite dangerous. Now, back in the day when I did mine, I'm making myself sound really old, but it was only 6 years ago, I had to do my class 2, and I did my class 2 for probably about 3 months. Now, I wanted to go straight to class 1 because I thought that, yeah, it's alright, I can handle it, blah, 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 blah. But that experience that I gained from doing the class 2 for 3 months was invaluable. I literally think that if I went straight into class 1, the mistakes that I could have made would have been pretty bad. So although you think that you're solving the problem by putting people straight through into class 1, it can actually have the opposite effect. Basically what's going to happen is people are going to get disillusioned and come straight into class 1, and they're going to go out and they're going to get stuck. They're not going to be able to reverse, and they're going to lose heart. They're not going to have that experience of being out on the road, and it's going to knock their confidence. And some people, not everyone, but there will be a certain amount of people that will just go, do you know what, this is not for me, see you later. Work-life balance. Now, this isn't something that affects me too much at the moment. I actually feel like I've finally found a job where the hours I do are acceptable, and I finish at a reasonable time and do get to spend time with my friends and family as much as possible. Now, there are the odd occasional times where you get caught in traffic and things are out of your hands. That's fair enough. But generally in the job, work-life balance, such as being a tramper, doesn't exist. Now, it takes a certain type of person to want to be literally away from home all week, living in a truck. Now, some people like it. Some people that are in relationships with their missus where they've been there a long time, and the missus does your head in and you do the missus head in, or whatever, or vice versa. If you're a woman lorry driver and you want to get away from the old man, perfect. Just see him on a weekend, earning good money, happy days. It's not very appealing to a young man with a young family, is it? Let's face it. Is your partner, if you're a young man, going to be happy with you being out all week and you only seeing them on the weekends while they're at home dealing with the kids? I don't think so. In my case, that is exactly it. I have young twin girls. They are 2 years old. They're a handful. If I turned around to my missus and said that I was going to be a tramper and be out all week, I think she would leave me. And I wouldn't blame her, because it's hard. Now, with everything that's been said, is it worth becoming a HGV driver? Now, in my personal opinion, I believe it is. It's a job that I'm quite passionate about. I really do enjoy being on my own, being sort of my own boss, if you like. I don't really have anyone breathing over my shoulder and, you know, telling me do this, do that, do this. It's literally, you get your jobs, you go deliver them, you get back and you go home. It takes a lot of stress off you. There's so many jobs out there where people are just so overwhelmed, the amount of stress they get put under. So would I recommend it? Of course I would, because I'm biased and I like the job. However, just bear in mind, this job is not for everyone. It does have its ups and it does have its downs. So just make sure you do your research, and hopefully, if it is for you, you'll get your test and you won't have the massive problem of getting a job like some have. Now, I think a lot of this struggling to find a job is sort of location based. For example, if you're in the southeast where I am, in Essex, there is a lot of work. It's pretty much one of the biggest sort of areas for industrial estates, so there's a lot of jobs here. However, if you're up, I don't know, in Norfolk or somewhere like that, the opportunities aren't going to be as vast. They're going to be few and far between. So this is something you also have to bear in mind. Maybe it's something that you're willing to do, relocate. It doesn't have to be southeast. There are other places like sort of in the middle of the country, Northampton way. There's a lot of industrial areas there because that's sort of the centre hub of the country. So guys, what do you think the reasons are for people leaving the industry or people not getting into the industry? Leave us your comments below, let me know what you think, and don't forget to give us a like, give us that thumbs up. It really helps the video get out there, and subscribe if you have liked any of the videos that you have watched of mine. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you on the next video.